Let's move over to the Los Angeles Lakers going in to play the Memphis Grizzlies. Lakers turned around a disappointing season. They knocked off the Wolves in an overtime rock fight to earn that number 7 seed in the West. So now we got LeBron and Anthony Davis and co. meeting up with Ja Morant and the Grizzlies in that 2-7 matchup that already has some notable bad blood between these two teams. Can't wait for Dylan Brooks to go against the Lakers and to hear what he says after every game. But what's one thing to watch? Trey, you get us started on this one. Lakers Grizz.
One column to watch, Skeets, and that's the personal fouls column next to Jaren Jackson Jr.'s name, because that is going to be key for the Grizzlies. Jaren staying on the court. We know LeBron and AD live in the lane. The Lakers are a team that has drawn a ton of fouls lately, so many free throws. Austin Reeves has had like 10 free throw games. That's the MO for the Lakers, is getting in the lane, scoring points in the paint. No Steven Adams, no Brandon Clark. Xavier Tillman's done a solid job as the spot starter here, but that's going to be a guy that the Lakers are trying to get into, draw some fouls on as well. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., he's so important defensively, but the way he's played offensively, when Ja was out during the second half of this season, really opened things up for the Grizzlies. If he's not able to stay on the court, it's a huge problem defensively, and it becomes a big problem for them offensively as well. They need him to play, they need him to play 30 minutes a game to start with. 40 would be more acceptable in a playoff scenario, but let's start with sticking to 30 at least, because if he's getting to 4 and 5 fouls early in the third and fourth quarter, it's not good for Memphis.
Yeah, and he is one of the rare defenders in this league, Jaren Jackson Jr., is that can sort of match AD physically, like size and strength, and obviously what he brings on the defensive end, and how he's been playing offensively too. But you got to be out there. You got to play
out there.
You can't foul out, and they're going to put pressure on him. I also have that in my notes. Like TK, what do you have though, Tess?
Yeah, that's going to be the most important thing. Really, is can he stay on the floor? And there's a lot of expectations because Trey brought up the other side of the floor. Maybe it was a bit of a blessing with Ja Morant out that Jaren Jackson Jr. had to do more. And he realized that I can be the second option because he's going to be important in the fourth quarters when it comes down to it offensively. But can he stay on the floor? Well, I think the trickle-down effect of how that happens is Xavier Tillman has to be really, really good against Anthony Davis. That big body is actually pretty good against AD. Mm-hmm. He's shorter than AD, but he's long. And he's got that low center of gravity, ready to stick with Anthony Davis. Do you like numbers? Here are some numbers.
Yeah, I do.
AD shooting only 36% against Tillman, specifically, according to Second Spectrum. And Tillman pushes him out. That lower body strength is important.
Yeah.
AD's...
He'll start to settle sort of for jumpers.
A little bit, yeah, because his shot distance is almost 13 feet when playing against Tillman, according to Second Spectrum. Sirat Sohi, great breakdown on the ringer of that matchup and of this matchup in general where we got so much juice, so much bad blood, as you said.
Yeah.
Will the Grizzlies come out dancing to Taylor Swift instead? Just some bad blood. And
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, me neither. Until you said bad blood.
Yeah.
You dropped the Roxette reference yesterday.
Sure did.
There we go.
Current reference. Let's drop a Taylor Swift.
Listen to your heart, Tess.
I'm going to listen to my heart. I do think Xavier Tillman is super important in this series, especially because Adams is out, because Brandon Clark is out. Who the heck is in this rotation afterwards? Santi Aldama comes in, and then they get teeny tiny. But Xavier is going to start on AD and hopefully keep him away from Jaren Jackson Jr. as much as possible.
Do you think the Grizzlies are being completely overlooked by casual fans and maybe even NBA fans with what happened with Ja Morant during the season, injuries in play, now drawing the Lakers, who are playing, the best basketball in the West since the All-Star break? It feels like this is a 2-7 matchup, but the Lakers are the 2 seed and the Grizzlies are a 7 seed, where it's not, obviously.
Yeah, you're probably right. The Grizzlies kind of as an on-court product have been a little bit overshadowed this season, certainly by what happened with Ja off the court, but they've had so many injuries this year that it kind of feels like they've taken a step back as a contender. And like you're saying, we're looking at the bottom half of the Western Conference bracket much more than we're looking at the top half so far, but I think this can be an okay matchup for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
It's not like the Lakers are really going to be beating them every single night from outside. So I think Desmond Bane's shooting becomes important. Luke Kennard has been on fire since joining the Grizzlies. His shooting's going to be important, as will Dylan Brooks. And then the Lakers turned the ball over a ton. They had a ton of stupid, just dumb turnovers against the Timberwolves, LeBron included, and that's exactly what the Grizzlies want to do. Force turnovers, get out in transition. The Lakers never get back on defense in transition. So I think if the Grizzlies are able to turn over LA, they will be able to score pretty effectively.
And it's also like, it's not like the Grizzlies are, like the Sacramento Kings, where they haven't been in the playoffs and they don't know what it's like and how the whistle is in these games. Like, Grizzlies are like, they're like trying to do the progression thing here, right? 2 years ago, it's a lose in the first round. Next year, it's to get to the semis. And then it's like, they've been in these games. They've obviously had big playoff series here already with the same coach and for the most part, the same sort of team. So they shouldn't be shook that way.
Nah.
Right?
I don't think they'll cower from the moment. I do think that the confidence that Dylan Brooks exudes all the time, I think it helps. It helps that locker room. Like
Will Dylan Brooks be tossed from a game in this series?
I think he's learned enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think he will?
Yeah.
I think the Shannon Sharp thing was enough to teach him to shut up enough. I know he doesn't shut up,
That
but
made
like
him stronger.
Yeah. I mean,
He's basically already guaranteed they're going to knock off the Lakers.
yeah. And I think that's good. I think that takes pressure off John Morant to some degree.
Yes.
And yeah, he said I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. His first time back in the playoffs since 2021. He's given us a history lesson.
Funny.
Knock him out right away. That'll test us good. They've got good pieces, good players. That'll be a good first-round matchup for us. And the extension of that was John Morant talking to ESPN earlier on in the season saying, the only team that worries me is Boston. Nobody in the West.
Right,
so
right.
is it overconfidence? Maybe, but they are getting overlooked to some degree.
I think they are.
I want to know if they can run against this Lakers team. The Lakers are bad at getting back in transition. Allowed the 4th most in the regular season, 23.4 points in transition. But they did pick up the pace. They got more athletic since the trade.
Yeah.
They were better. They're 10th in pace since the trade. But the Grizzlies, absolutely need to go fast because their half-court offense is lacking a little bit. Jaren Jackson Jr. has got to pick it up in that regard. But they do a lot of their work in the transition, and that goes away sort of in the playoffs. If you remember, I went back, just like my man Dylan Brooks was going back. I went back to the bubble. The Russell Westbrook, James Harden, it was like Eric Gordon. That Rockets versus Lakers series, Rockets tried to outrun the Lakers because the Lakers are kind of, they're the Lakers. It didn't work. I mean, it didn't really work. The Lakers kind of just figured it out. The Grizzlies are a little bit more athletic, but I think the Lakers will have enough guys to get back, but anyways, it's going to
That
come
Lakers team had a lot better defenders than this Lakers team does, even today, because there is nobody on the Lakers who can stick with John Morant, and I think that's
the
going
biggest thing.
That's going to be a huge problem. Memphis scores a ton in the lane, just like LA does as well. So Davis has got to watch his fouls too, because Wenyen Gabriel ain't the answer. We saw that in their playing game against Minnesota. So yeah, I think Ja's being a little overlooked in this series because he should be 30 a game easily.
Who's going to get that main assignment? Vanderbilt? Are they gonna
I
put
think
some,
so.
Yeah, I
that's
sort of think so too.
I mean, it ain't gonna be D'Angelo Russell.
No,
That's for sure.
no.
Yeah,
Reeves? No, probably not.
They are 3rd in defense since the trade, so that is something. They had a paper-thin schedule, there's no doubt. The Lakers did. And, John Morant, he is 100% being overlooked. And I think it's good that everybody else is talking, and he's just going to go out and play.
I doubt we'll be taking John Morant for an X factor, but who else do you have on your list there, TK?
My X factors are the shooters for the Grizzlies: Bane, Kennard, and Brooks. They got to get some production from those guys from the outside. I think Bane is the guy who really needs to step up for Memphis here. Ja will do his thing. Jaren Jackson Jr., we've already talked about, is a big question mark whether he'll be able to contribute on both ends of the court. But Bane can be a secondary shooter, and there will be times when the Lakers want to get the ball out of Ja's hands, and somebody else has to make a play. I think his playmaking has taken a step forward this season. He's obviously a knockdown shooter from 3, so big Bane games would be big.
Yeah, he had a great first-round series against the Wolves last year. Bane was awesome, if you remember, and then he sort of disappeared in like 3 or 4 games against the Warriors. I think he sort of picked it up right at the end into that series. But they need Bane to be pretty special there, splashing away from three. Who you got as an X factor?
Yeah, I'm totally with you on the Grizzly shooters. When it comes down to crunch time, obviously Morant and Triple J, hopefully, will be out there with Dylan Brooks and Bane. The fifth guy, if it's Luke Kennard, who can bury triple after triple after triple, has got to be himself. But will he be out there? Will the Lakers allow him to be out there? Will they go after him defensively? That could happen. He could get played off the floor. So other guys, I'm not sure if Zaire Williams is ready. Tyus Jones may step in just to be able to hit some shots. But if Luke Kennard can play, that is big. We said Al Horford's the best shooter. That guy is the best shooter. Luke Kennard's the best shooter in basketball when he's on the floor. Can he do it? Can he be out there? That's the biggest question, because he's been really good since coming over. There's a reason that they traded for him.
I said this after the Lakers beat the Wolves there to get into the playoffs. The X factor, and this is me definitely cheating, but it's like, who is going to be the third Laker on any given night to step up and help out LeBron and AD? It was Schroeder in that game versus Minnesota with 21 off the bench, basically saving D'Angelo Russell, who had a garbage game. But D'Angelo Russell could have a monster game. Could be Reeves. Could be Beasley hitting 6 threes. Vanderbilt, he's got to play his defense. Can he contribute at all offensively? I think it's going to be just finding that third sort of star on that night to help out your AD and LeBron, who are going to get theirs, usually, as long as they're not injured. So I'll be watching for that. Who's going to step up? Lakers-Grizzlies predictions. This one, could we disagree on? I can't wait to see where everybody goes. Trey, you go first.
Man, I think this is a very, very tough call. Tuck in your tank tops. Get your cardigans out. It's going to be a fun one. These Anthony Davis numbers are crazy to me, actually, because you listed out pretty solid performance from Xavier Tillman, it seems like, against Anthony Davis. Then I go and look, and Anthony Davis had a 30-22 and a 28-19.
Right.
So what happened? I thought he was playing defense. I don't know. You see LeBron and AD. You think maybe the Lakers should be favored, but I'm going with the Grizzlies in 7.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not confident at all, but I'm going Grizzlies in 7.
Okay.
I think the Grizzlies are ready. I think they're ready for the moment. I got them in 7 too. I think that's plenty of respect for the Lakers to win 3 games.
Oh, Jesus. I had Grizzlies in 7 too, but I'm throwing it out. I'm swerving if you guys are taking it. Give me Lakers in 7. LeBron on the road, in the grindhouse. Dylan Brooks shooting 5 for 23 in Game 7, tapping him in the balls, getting kicked out, something like that. Look, we're getting out here as we think this could be a very, very tight series. I believe someone or 2 people or 3 people will be tossed at some point in this series because emotions will be running high, and it should be fun as hell to watch and break down here on the show. I'll go Lakers in 7. Because I can't have us all go on the same side, right? It also feels like a coin flip when you get to a Game 7. Sure, take LeBron on the road, why not? Let's hear from you guys though. Grizzlies, Lakers. You think the Lakers are going to wax them? Some people do. Some people think the Grizzlies are going to wax them, and the Lakers are completely overrated. Some of us, like all 3 of us here, think it's going 7. Let's hear from you guys. Drop your predictions in the comments below. We're going to take